In a previous video, I showed you how to do these hazard patterns, and then I promised I would make some kind of a model incorporating one or both of them, and so I'm going to do that right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look from the front, and I'm going to create a plane, rotate X 90. I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to take these and scale them in. I'm going to take these and I'm going to scale them out. Let's get rid of that edge. Have that. Let's start with that. Okay. I'm going to extrude out a little bit. And I am going to flip or recalculate outside by polys. Let's see if they are indeed outside. E and Alt S, and I'm going to push up like this. Okay. I'm going to switch to edge selection number 2 and Control R. Drop an edge loop right there. And actually, I'll do that again. I'm going to do 2. And I'll do 2. Just let them fall. Then I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to press GG and pull them up like that. And then I'm going to select these ones as well. And I'm going to use this to create the cross beams here. So I'm going to bevel, Control B and pull them like that, and that's going to determine the size of my cross beams. I press number 3 for face selection and select both of those and Control E bridge edge loops. And the same down here for these ones. Alright, cool. So now I'm going to create a hole here, and then what I'll do that is drop an edge loop there, drop an edge loop there, select both of them, and I'm going to Control B this. Just like that. Alright, now press 3 for face selection, and I'm going to delete some faces, all of these, and we're going to rebuild here. We can rebuild it. 2 for edge selection and select those, and F to make a face. Come along to the back, do the same thing to make a face, and then this edge and this edge, F. This edge and this edge, F. Press 1 to look from the front. And then I'm going to go into wireframe, and I'm going to box select here, and I'm going to scale in the X to make that a little bit narrower, to make my hole a bit smaller. Alright, so this is my basic piece here. Now we're going to do some beveling, but before I do that, I'm going to turn on the cavity shader. Alright, I'm going to select this edge and this edge, and I'm going to either just select the edge. I think I'm just going to select the edges here. Not that one, no. This edge, and this edge, all around here like this. Okay, we're going to do those edges first. Alright, so I'm going to Control B and pull. Roll my mouse up 3 more times, so I've got a total of 5 segments in there. Let's also do the inside of this hole here. Okay, Control B, pull. Round that off nicely like that. While we're here, let's go ahead and round this some more. I'm going to have to do multiple selections, so I'm holding down Shift and Alt, and for the front and the back, until we have it all. And then Control B. I'm not really worried about how many segments I have. I'm not worrying about my polys. We're just doing it. Okay. I say I have a problem down here. Maybe you saw that and I didn't. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to zoom in to that point. Then I'm going to GG, slide it up. And we'll see if that's enough to fix that. GG. Let's come around on the other side as well. GG. Just get it out of the way. GG. What I should do is I should get rid of these faces down here. And then do that. Okay. And then there. I think I could cut it in half and just do it once, but why bother? We're doing okay. As it is, it doesn't take that long. takes just a few clicks. Some people, of course, would like to cut that out and do it in less. Let's zoom in and try it here. And I think I'm okay here. I'll shade smooth, and I'll put on weighted normal and normal auto smooth. And it looks all right to me. Maybe the width could come in a little bit. And what I'm going to do before I go on is I'm going to take one of these circles, Shift D. I'm just going to pull it out and P, break it out. I'll use that to make a piece of wood in a bit. So let's go ahead and take both of these now and slide it back from my 3D cursor, and take this and mirror this. I'll be mirroring in the Y, but I'm going to set the origin to the 3D cursor. So like that. And maybe we need to move it out just a little bit more. Let's try that. Okay. Now I'm thinking of doing a hole in this as well. I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there, and I'm going to bring in a cylinder. I'll go for 24. Just like that. Rotate X 90. Let's see, where am I? There. Put it something like that. I'm going to select both of these and go into edit mode. Just make sure I'm within my face and not over an edge or something. So I'll bring it in. I'm going to scale it down a bit. It could be a hole that you can hang stuff. That's why you can hang stuff on there if need be. Let's bring the 3D cursor right back to the middle and set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror this. Just want to go look at it again. Yeah, that's okay right there. Okay. Select my main bodies there, those things, and Boolean, drag it to the top on difference, choose that, and apply, and I will get rid of that, and we'll come in here and Shift Alt and click, just get rid of extra edges that are selected. We don't want those selected when we bevel this. So get rid of that and that. Get rid of that and get rid of that. Control B. Let's have a few segments in there, and we got some holes. All right, cool. Now we'll take this piece here we're going to use for wood. I'm going to press F to make a face and E to extrude, and I'm going to pull it through and look from the side, and it doesn't have to go through evenly exactly. Great, let's select that face and this face, and we'll bevel this. Control B, and you could have less segments, but all right, do something like that. And I want to look from the end now, and I want to scale it down a little bit in that hole and pull it down like it's a piece of wood sitting in there. But I think I've shortened it, so I'm going to scale that in the Y again and do that kind of thing. Okay, and then what I was thinking is, if you wanted, you could take this Shift D and pull it down. We can rotate Y 90, and it can sit on that lower part there. So I'll pull that down, and maybe we'll make it a bit thinner. So I'll go into edit, into wireframe, and grab those vertices, pull it down a little bit, and just pull it out on either side. Doesn't have to be exactly even. I'm going to take a piece of this one, and I'll Shift D to duplicate. I'm going to pull it out in front, and I'm going to have it out front doing something here. And maybe I will, let's see, select a bit and Control L. Let's make sure it's a separate piece. I'm going to scale this in the X a little bit. I'm not worried about the curvature. And I'll rotate it to go here, but I'm going to look from, let's see, where is it? Control 3. From the front, I'm going to create a little bolt that would go there. I'll rotate it all at the same time. So I'll just make it. So go ahead with a circle, we'll say 16 vertices, scale it down, rotate Y90, pull it over here, out in front, Control 3, and just get it to the size approximately. I'll have two of them. F to make a face, press the period key to focus on that. Extrude it back and get rid of that back face. Take this and Control B. I don't need too many segments, like one or two is fine. I'll end up shading smooth. Let's take it though and bring the 3D cursor there, and then do another circle and make it 6, and scale that down. F to make a face, rotate Y90 and pull it out, and then I'll extrude this back, and when it touches I'll get rid of that face. I'm going to press 2 for edge selection and select it all, and then Control B and bevel, and I just want one extra segment. So there's back to 0 and one more, and I'm going to join those, Control J, and we'll make sure we shade smooth the whole thing. And we can put on that weighted normal and normal auto smooth, and that'll help. So there's my bolt, and let's just bring it in and we'll see what the size is like on that thing. Control 3, I guess. Yeah, something like that. And then I'll Shift D. I'll just bring one down, and I'm going to just rotate that in the X a little bit different. And I could mirror these, but you know what? I think I'm just going to copy them or duplicate them or whatever. And that's fine. And then I'll just go around and I'll Control L. Oh, I better get the whole thing. And I'll rotate in the X a little bit. I'm just going to leave it. So I've got that, and I can do that on the back as well. So I'm just modeling the pieces that we're going to need. And one other thing I was thinking is you could put on this shelf, you know, whatever you wanted. But I was thinking I would do like a little cone of some sort, like a traffic cone. So I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there, and I'm going to bring in a new plane. I'll scale it down a bit, and I'm just going to slash the focus just on that, and I'm going to subdivide this. I think that many times, 4 times. Press 3 for face selection and C for paint select, and grab those middle quads. And then I'm going to use loop tool circle and look down from the top, and I might, yeah, you know, you're going to rotate it and straighten them a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Alright, so I got that, and then I'm just going to extrude up and scale in like this. X faces, get rid of those faces. And with that done, let's just have a look at this. Yeah, okay. I'm going to E and Alt S. I'll do it this way. And I'll pull, I think, to give it a little bit of thickness like that. Look from one of the orthographic views though, and box select here. I'm going to SZ0 just to straighten out and flatten out this lip here. And then I'm going to come in here and grab these and Control B and pull, and I'm just going to have one segment in there, but I would like it nice and rounded like that. I'm going to put a subdivision surface on here, and I do have some thickness already, but I don't really need these bottom faces. So let's do this. Let's get rid of those, but keep the edge, and I'll need an edge loop in here. I know I will. I'm going to I can try Control 1, but I'm probably going to end up going for 2 on this. Yeah, I think I'll bring that one down quite far. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring that up. It'll just look nicer. Yeah, it turns out that's not quite in enough. I'm going to dissolve those edges, and I'm going to come in here and see if I can just scale it in some more. Like that. Okay, let's bring those down now. Okay, so I would have that, and maybe I do want to bring this down further. And to texture this, I know I'm going to need some edge loops. I'm just going to roll up like that and Control B, go back to 0, and I'm going to put some different colors on there. So let's just leave it like that. And so it's not bad right there even. Okay, or you can make them smaller if you wanted. So that's, as far as I can tell, the basic modeling of what I would need. adjust this a little bit, make it look a little nicer. I don't know which one to put on. Yeah, I mean, I could use, do I have weighted, do I have normals? Yeah, I do on that. I mean, I have it on everything. Let's try just a different matte count. Let's try this, the typical metal one. I don't know. See the way these look like they're glowing? Different shade. They're flipped. Recalculate. I want everything blue, and then so your eye gets to be able to tell. I still think these are a little bit too wide for my liking, so I'm going to scale them in the wide. And then I'll just have to make sure that my bolts are in the right position for this. And what I might do is let's make them smaller but individually. So let's switch over to individual origins and just S. Make them smaller that way. And let's just make sure that they are embedded. Okay, so that's the main modeling. Now, you can see that these feet here are angled, sort of, and you could just push them into the ground, or if you want to, if it was really bothering you, you could go in, let's control one, select everything. Let's try this, and then let's go into mesh, bisect, and just drag across like this, and then make this straight, SZ0, and I've cut through. Let's put on wireframe, and in vertex selection, select all those and delete them. And now those are straight across. So let's texture this stuff real quick. Let's create a new material here, and I'll call this barrier, and I'll do it over here. I'm not sure what color I want to do this. I'm thinking kind of like a red or something like that. And I'm even going to put on the clear coat. I'll just do 0.2. It's going to look kind of game-ish, but I'm going to do something like that. And then I'm going to come up here and let's make another material here. And let's call this black. Bring it quite far down. Do the same kind of thing here. I'll drag down the roughness. I know it's not going to look like a piece of wood, but I'm going for kind of a cartoony kind of a look. I'll do the same thing here. I'll add that black, and we'll do some more with that. This one, I'm going to use the same color as that. Whether I stick with this or adjust it, and I'm feeling like I'm going to adjust it a little bit. This one's quite easy. I'll show you. Just come in here and Shift Alt and click faces like that. Create a new material. So there's two materials here. Now, let's call this white and assign, and that's going to be basically it. But we'll just drag the roughness down as well. And the clear coat, I'll be using 0.2, and that one's done like that. All right, that one's quite easy. Well, it's all quite easy, really. I'm going to come in here now, and in face selection, I'm going to select that face. Because I beveled, there's a little bit of sort of an inset, so I'm going to select both of those, and I'm going to go U, unwrap. All right, and then I'm going to come back up to here and add a new material. So again, there's going to be two, and I'm going to call this I'll just call it hazard. And assign. And like I did in my last video, here's where I will create the texture. Use a wave texture, Control T, and because we UV unwrap them, I'll switch to UV. We'll add a converter color ramp and drag the color in. Pinch these near the middle, nice and tight. You get a nice sharp line. Change the white to something like yellow if that's the color we want to use, and I'm not certain. I might play around with it, but we'll do that. And then I will change the angle here, rotation under Z. I'll put -45. Yeah, okay. And we are getting that on the front and the back. I'm going to do the same on this one here, just on the front though, not on the back surface. So I'm just going to U unwrap, And I'm going to create a new material, and I'm going to use that hazard one there, assign. And we've got that. Okay. These I think I'll just do in black. Okay, cool. And let's switch over to here. And yeah, are we ready to go with this? I think I am. Okay, so I'm going to hold that and that, and look from the side. I'm going to set the origin to the geometry, which makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to rotate, and we'll just position these. I want to have it right there. Could do that. Let's look from one of the sides here and just see how my bolts are doing. The bolts look good. All right, so now I will take something. I think that was pretty central, so I'll come in here and put my 3D cursor there. I'm going to take this, set the origin to the 3D cursor, and mirror this across. And you'll notice it's gone weird in the X. So if that ever happens, try, maybe you rotated or edited in object mode, which I think I did. So try Control A, rotation and scale, and it pops back in where it should be. All right. And I can do the same with this object, set origin to 3D cursor. Let's see if we can replicate that or if it just works for us. Mirroring the X, it's not looking good. Control A, rotation and scale. And we have what we need. All right, very good. Let's just bring in a quick sunlight here. Bump that up to about 5. I just want to get a shadow in there and turn on scene lights. There, so we have that. All right, and it might be fun if you're in the mood for fun to change these a little bit. You could make them, let's say, we could make this, I don't know, what if that was white? That might look cute, you know, just as that kind of a thing there. All right, so that is it. We use the hazard pattern. However, I do notice that they are going in opposite directions. That one seems the same, and that one isn't. So what I would do in this case, if I want my hazard lines to be the same on all of these, is I'm going to probably have to make one of these independent. All right. So let's say these are the same, and I like that. But on this side, I don't. So what I would probably do is I would have to I'm going to apply the mirror and take this one, and that's a separate entity. I'm just going to break it out actually. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select that face, and over here under hazard, I'm going to make that its own, a new material, so that I can come over here and I can make this one the opposite angle. All right, so now they're all going in the same direction. I had one more material I had to make. All right, so that is it for that. Hopefully that's useful, helpful, funny, fun, whatever. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.